Alright, just a second, Polly.
Right, so Periscope, just so you know, if you're not getting a good reception with me, then Anu is going out on...
Vaxxed.com. And if you can't get on Vaxxed.com, go to YouTube and search for Vaxxed TV, and we'll be live there.
Okay, so you've got that choice, Periscope or Anu's little number. So you're just waiting for Josh?
Yeah, we're running.
Right,
We're
okay.
good.
So, just forget that. So first of all, what's your name? Melissa, and this is going to be a story about your daughter. Right, take us right back to before she was hurt by vaccine.
Okay, I had a wonderful pregnancy. Gave birth to her. She was perfect. But like most parents, just took her in routine visits, shots. She got her 2 month shots. I even have her vaccine blue card to prove what all she got.
Do you tell us?
Yeah, I even have it to just prove, because just to prove, you know, what all she did get. It just showed, this is what a state of Alabama certificate of immunization
looks like. Oh my gosh, you get a certificate. Does everyone get this in America?
They do. And what really bugs me the most about that certificate is I
like
never
you're
really.
supposed to put it on the wall or something.
Oh yeah, like it's a honor or something to have it. But yeah, I was showing my husband this last night when I found it. Down here it says not required for school attendance. Then why? Why are these given?
So it says not required
for school attendance. Please record for historical information. These are not required, so why are they pushed on our children? Why?
Wow.
There's several more that say that. The flu, required for daycare, but you know we're told that you have to get on. This is the chickenpox. It says required for daycare, but right here, all these flu vaccines. I specifically remember taking her in each visit and telling them I do not want flu vaccine for my daughter. That was one of the things that I do remember telling them, and I was showing my husband this last night. I said, look, they gave it to her anyways. I had no idea.
So she's had, okay, DTaP,
oh, yeah.
polio, measles, mumps, rubella, influenza.
She was fully vaccinated up till 18 months old, and that's when I quit.
Chickenpox, and then again Hep B.
She was born April 2003, so it shows you right here. She was 2 days after she was born. She got the Hep B. This is, April, and then these are her 2 month shots. And I just took her in routinely, just like all parents
Like
did.
we all did.
Just like we all did, and I was a young parent, didn't know. This was her, full of life.
Check that one out.
Bright eyes. This is her at 2 years old. Notice her ankles started to swell. Her vaccine injury is totally different from...
Swollen ankles is what you're saying?
Yes,
yeah,
swollen ankles.
That's really bad, those swollen
yes.
ankles. And what do you think that was from?
It happened right after the MMR. Right after. She got a round of shots. I was looking at this last night, actually.
Check those ankles out. Sorry,
yes.
I didn't mean to say that.
This is another one. She was about 4 years old there. Her wrists began to swell, her fingers. Her left knee began to swell at 18 months old.
See her wrist is swollen.
Oh, yes. Her left knee began to swell huge. Her right knee began to swell, and then she got a Baker's cyst, so they called it, on the back of her knee. She could not straighten her legs out anymore normally. She could not sit crisscross applesauce like all of her.
What do you mean crisscross applesauce?
That's what they call it in Alabama. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine.
That's how, cross your legs, sit like an Indian, in school. She couldn't do that anymore. But to go back, she was, after every vaccine, I started noticing it. Earaches. We take her in, antibiotics. Just like you talked about the antibiotics. And I had no clue as a new parent. I had no idea. I just did what the doctor said. And so, 6 months old, just the ear infections would never clear up. They would prescribe a new antibiotic, and then they just would never clear up. Other than the ear infections, she was healthy. Other than that. And then the year-old shots came in, and I started hearing things about the MMR. From different parents. I wish I would have listened. I went ahead and gave it to her. I remember asking her pediatrician.
So when people would say things about the MMR, what would go through your mind?
We've heard links with autism. And I'm like, what? Because I didn't know anybody with autism. I didn't know anyone. So I just blindly gave it to her. You know, didn't listen to anyone. I thought my doctor knew best. And so we went on, and she was fine after the shots. You know, maybe a fever that would subside or whatever. Of course, the Tylenol, the Motrin, or what I hear every parent say, just give Tylenol, Motrin. I did that. And so 18 months, I took her in and had all the round of shots. It's on this paper. She got everything that's on the CDC list that she was supposed to get. Her 2-year-old birthday, she was fine. One thing that happened on her 2-year-old birthday, she fell and broke her arm that day. We didn't even know her arm was broke. A month after she turned 2, we woke up like normal. You know, she was a very vibrant, when you put her down, she's running. She never complained about pain or anything. But I noticed on the palms of her, tops of her hands, she had these cysts, and I could move them. And I said, what is that? I looked at my husband and I said, did she fall? Did I not see her fall? And he said, no. And so the next day, of course, I'm running to the pediatrician, showing the pediatrician here in Birmingham at, you know, her hands. And he said, well, we need to do tests. We need to do blood work. Those are Baker's cysts. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what that is. And so he did a round of blood tests. They came back that that she had inflammation. And I said, well, I understand. I know she has inflammation. I want to know what this is. She's been fine. I don't understand what's going on. And so then he looks at me and he said, well, it could be rheumatoid arthritis. And I said, rheumatoid arthritis in a 2-year-old? You've got to be kidding me. He said, well, you know, her factors came back and they're very elevated. And he said, not only that, her left knee is very swollen, which I had not even paid attention to because she was so chunky anyways at that age. She was chunky. And so, and then he checked her other knee and he found a cyst that was forming behind her other knee, which began to get larger, as in this picture you can see under that knee. So we were referred to a juvenile rheumatoid arthritis doctor in this area. I took her there. By this time, I had started doing some research of my own, not on Google. I began to go on CDC. I began to look at every vaccine that I had given her. I began to look at the side effects. I began to read the ingredients. And a light switch went on. And I said, oh my God. When I read some of the side effects of these vaccines, and it says rheumatoid arthritis, swelling, just everything, I said, oh my God, what have I done to my child? So that guilt set in. And then when I took her to her rheumatoid arthritis doctor, she was bouncing off the walls like her normal self. She did not seem in pain or anything like that. So the doctor just looked at me and he said, well, her factors look very high. She has inflammation. I don't know if it's rheumatoid arthritis. I can't be for sure. And then he sent an intern in, and they just started questioning my family history. Do you have family history of lupus? Do you have family history of rheumatoid arthritis? Do you have this? Do you have that? And I'm like, no one in my family has any of this. Could it have been the vaccines? And he literally told me that I was crazy for even suggesting that. And I said, well, she just got all these rounds of vaccines and she was fine before and she is not fine now. And I took my daughter after he wrote me this long prescription of methotrexate and prednisone for a 2-year-old, and I picked her up and I left and we never went back. And so it's been a long road, a very long road of pain, watching her scream in pain.
How old is she now?
She's 13.
How's she doing now?
She's doing great. She still has some swelling in her hands and her knees. She doesn't play sports, which she tells me she don't want to play sports. She's a girly girl. But she loves to sing, and she's perfect. She is wonderful. She has taught me so much about life. She smiles through pain. It's amazing. Sorry.
No, but it's just not right that she should live with any level of pain.
No, not at all. no one helped us really. They just wanted to, pile medicine. Let's try this. Let's try that. We started taking her to Orlando to some holistic doctors because there wasn't many at that time. That was back in 2005 here, so I couldn't find anyone to help. So we spent a lot of money and time and on that, and it helped. We did a lot of testing on her. They found that she had very high levels of mercury in her blood. The blood work that they did on her, high levels of mercury. Another thing I want to tell too is when I was pregnant, I refused all the shots that they were trying to push on me, thank God. But a dentist removed a tooth that was full of mercury, and I had no idea. He told me it was safe, that my daughter would not be affected, but he removed the tooth that would a root canal that had went bad, and I said, can we just wait till after? And he said, no, you need to have this now. And I just can remember y'all tasting the metal going down. I believe that played a factor along with the vaccines. It was just like a concoction, just like a toxic cocktail, and it was just at any given moment it was going to explode. And so along with that, along with all the toxins from the vaccines, it just was a matter of time. I have a son. He is fully unvaccinated. Nothing will touch him ever. He's never had a cold. If he does get a little bit of a runny nose, his body completely gets rid of it. His immune system is so strong. Matter of fact, my daughter actually, other than the swelling and the pain and the inflammation, she doesn't get sick. I totally quit vaccinating her at 18 months old. She never got another shot, thank God. And she doesn't get sick. Other than this, we have kept all the other junk at bay from her. We've built her immune system through holistic things, and she would tell you today that she's normal. She doesn't see herself any different. She doesn't.
I'm so glad that you...
And we never put that label on her. I never allowed anyone to put a label on her that she was any different. She sees herself as a typical 13-year-old.
Now, have you written her name on the back?
I just did.
You said,
Let me
okay.
show you her picture today. I'll show you Kinsley. Let's see.
Women of the family as well.
Have y'all ran into any other stories of autoimmune
Yes.
arthritis?
Yes.
And
Yes.
wow.
It actually says in the inset of the MMR anyway. But that's one of the side effects.
Let me find a good one because she'd be upset with me if I did. This is Kinsley today.
Where are we? Okay. She's beautiful. How are her knees today?
They still have some swelling. We can control a lot of it with what she eats. A lot of the swelling is controlled, a lot of it, with her food. The food. The food is the main factor, but
Alright, well look, thank you so much for telling your story. I so appreciate it. We've got another story outside.
Okay, great.
But thank you so much. I'm so glad your daughter's doing so well and your son's unvaccinated. So
yes,
you can actually write his name on the inside. Yeah, this is the unvaccinated.
yes, never. You want me to write it on here?
Yep. Let me get you a pen.
That's our story.
Let me get you a pen.
Okay.
Who is our next story?
Does it matter?
I'm a little bit confused as to what number we're on. I think.
Okay.
I think were we on 62? 64. 64 is it?
63. I see it there. 64.
Alright, I'm coming back with another
Is there any on that side of new? Otherwise, it's
63.
Over here. I don't see any other here. We're on 64.
Okay.
I guess so.
64. This is oh.
The trouble with going out on two forums is to. We can't help Patrick then. Do we need to go on 2 forums the whole time? Are you still live?
We're
Yes.
supposed to be cutting
You
the
turn it
HD
off.
footage and putting it on.
Okay, well, I'll turn it off now.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back, guys.